Welcome, everybody, to the special holiday edition of the Huddle Hub podcast. My name is Metal Mike, and today we are going to run down all of the Christmas Day games that are taking place in the NFL. We got some news to talk about as well, and some of the playoff scenarios that benefit basically one team today. That's it. On the list of games today, only one team really benefits, because when you look at the schedule for today, okay, when you go and look at the schedule for today's games, you got the Cowboys and Commanders eliminated, both. You got the Lions and Vikings. Lions just are hanging on by a thread, okay? Let's just put it this way. If the Vikings go out and beat the Lions today, the Lions are done. Officially eliminated, mathematically eliminated. They're not mathematically eliminated yet. What they need to happen is they need to win out. They need the Packers to lose out. They need another team, I believe, to lose out. You know, they need a lot to happen in order to make it into the postseason. So the Lions, if you want to go mathematically, yeah, they're playing for something. They're playing to stay alive, at least for today. Because then come this weekend, if Green Bay goes out and wins their game, Lions are done. Saturday, Packers-Ravens. Packers go out and beat the Ravens. That's it. And the Ravens may be without Lamar Jackson. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the only team that realistically has something to play for today is the Denver Broncos. And that's on the nightcap against the Chiefs. So we're going to talk about all that here on the episode, on this time today, but I can't even talk today, on today's episode of the Huddle Hub Podcast, this special holiday / Christmas edition. Whatever you're celebrating, happy holidays. And we're here to get you guys ready for the 3 games today. Before we get into it, please make sure you head over to the Huddle Hub Podcast on social media. Over on X and TikTok, you're going to hit that follow button. Over on the YouTube, you're going to hit that subscribe button. That's how you follow on the YouTube. And if you're watching on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. On the Twitch, all the links to all of our social medias are in the bio. You can just click on whatever social media you desire to go to, because I know not everybody uses every social media. You have some people that say, oh, I don't use TikTok, or I don't use X, or I don't use YouTube. I don't use Twitch. Well, all the links are in our bio on Twitch. And I believe on the YouTube as well. I think all of our links are on the YouTube as well. I got to check that. I will confirm that and let you guys know that on Saturday, on the Saturday edition of the Huddle Hub Podcast. But whatever one you desire, go follow, subscribe, and help us build the Huddle Hub Podcast going through the rest of the 2025 season and beyond. Be greatly appreciated. Greatly, greatly appreciated. We got some news that came out in the past 48 hours, because as you know, me and John did the Tuesday night show, and I announced there that we have a pretty busy schedule this week here on the Huddle Hub Podcast. We had the Tuesday edition, we have today, and then we have Saturday. And then we're right back here on Tuesday. So 4 shows in the span of 7 days, which is crazy, right? Because we're in that time of the year. It's not only because of the holidays, but we are in a playoff race right now. We're in a playoff race right now. We got some teams that need to still do some clinching. And I'm not talking just playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yes, Coach. I'm talking about the playoffs. That's right. Not just talking playoffs, but I'm talking division championships. As it sits right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are the only team to clinch their division, the NFC East Championship. And some would say that that was the easiest one to clinch this year because, let's face it, the Cowboys, even the sliver of hope they had in a 10-day span back on Thanksgiving a month ago where they beat the Eagles and then they went out and beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving Day, still there was no belief or hope that the Cowboys were going to do anything. The only other team that probably would have been up there was the Commanders, and guess what? They did exactly what I predicted they were going to do, and that was pretty much crap to bed this year. I had no belief whatsoever that Washington was going to be better than they were last year. They had too much of a turnover on their roster. You go and look, they literally turned around their offensive line. Now, all the guys that were on their offensive line last year that helped them be successful and go 12-5 and get to the conference championship, still on the roster, most of them. But they traded for players and brought them in and changed up almost their whole offensive line. Why would you do that? We talk about teams being successful and doing the successful things, and then you go and make changes that you feel are going to make you more successful. Like, hold on, timeout. If you went and had an offensive line that helped you get to 12-5, then wouldn't you sit there and say, maybe this offensive line can help us get to 13-4 or 14-3 and maybe win our division? But no. Let's go out and trade for a 34-year-old offensive lineman who's pretty much one foot out the door of retirement, coming from a team that didn't have a lot of success in the past 15 years. Won division championships, but couldn't get far in the playoffs, I should say. Okay? What's up, Tommy? Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming in and checking out this holiday edition of the Huddle Hub Podcast, this Christmas edition, whatever you want to call it, whatever you're celebrating, we got to be respectful because not everybody celebrates Christmas. We have different holidays, so we got to be respectful and say holiday edition opposed to just Christmas, because we can't just make the assumption that everybody celebrates just Christmas. But, but appreciate you being here. Merry Christmas to you too. So back on to the Commanders thing. No, I'm going to say this right now. I didn't have any feeling they were going to be successful. Now, when I get into my predictions, and if I can get my predictions that I made to start the season, I predicted the Commanders to go 10-7 at best, be the 7th seed in the playoffs, but not even make it past the wild card round. Okay? I predicted them to, because in my predictions, they would have ended up meeting Tampa Bay in the wild card round, and Tampa would have eliminated them. That was my predictions. Okay? Same with the Chiefs. In my predictions, I didn't have the Chiefs make the playoffs at all. Not at all. I had them going 8-9 and missing the playoffs. Now, they're still on course for that because they're 6-9 right now. So, is there a possibility? Oh, they're not 6-9. They're 6-10. They're 6. No, yeah, they're 6-9. They're 6-9 right now. So they're on course to go 8-9. Sorry, man, my math blew my mind for a second. They're still on course to go 8-9. Still on course. They win today against Denver and then win next week. They go 8-9. But they have a third-string quarterback that they signed off of a practice squad starting for them this week. They went out and signed Steve Buccelli, I believe that's who they signed, from Buffalo's practice squad to come in, take over the reins, because Gardner Minshew got hurt last week. Good thing is he avoided an ACL tear, which is good. But he's done for the season. And we know Patrick Mahomes is done for as well because of his ACL tear. So you're bringing in a practice squad guy to go out and take on the Broncos today. On the nightcap. On Christmas Day. So 8-9 is probably not going to be Kansas City's record at the end of the year. They might finish 6-11. So let's get into the news, though. Let's get into the news that has come out in the past 48 hours, and that is starting off with Brock Bowers, tight end of the Raiders. He was placed on season-ending IR. As we know, Brock Bowers, he was having some issues with injuries this year. Didn't play a lot this year. He was in a couple games. I think he only played like 7 games this year, 6 at best. I might be wrong on that. He may have played a little more, but Brock Bowers was on the injured list almost every week. I mean, every time we did a news segment in the first maybe 5 weeks of the season, he was on the injured list. So Brock Bowers placed on season-ending IR. And here's the thing is there's some players that realistically aren't facing big injuries, but they were placed on season-ending IR because that's pretty much it. So, and that's the thing, Tommy, is he got elected to the Pro Bowl, and that's fine and dandy. But he could have sprained his pinky and got put on season-ending IR because they want to deactivate him for the season. They want to say, okay, he's not available. We're not going to run with him. That's just like Washington, okay? This is a good example. The Commanders, Jaden Daniels, he hasn't been cleared by team doctors yet to start and play, but he is allowed to practice. He is allowed to practice. So he's good. He could be on the field in practice, but in game situation, no, he can't because he hasn't been cleared by team doctors yet. Now, if he gets cleared by team doctors, let's say by next week, then he could play. But the Commanders, I believe, went and stuck him on season-ending IR as well last week. And they said, you know what? We're doing that. That way he can take the rest of this time to get ready for next year. They're giving it a little more time. To get him more healthy and give him that head start on getting healthy for next season. That's all it is. So Brock Bowers, pending on what the injury is and pending what's, going on with him, there's a chance you still see him in the Pro Bowl games. You still see him at the festivities. So whether he takes place in them or not, it's still yet to be known. But he was placed on season-ending IR, which means you will not see him on the field this week or next week to close the season out. So Brock Bowers on season-ending IR. The Chiefs, they had placed wide receiver Rashid Rice and Tyquan Thornton and cornerbacks Trent Duffy and Jalen Watson on season-ending IR. So the Chiefs are starting to get some of their starters on that season-ending IR list, so that way, they could start getting healthier for next year and get themselves ready for next year. Because as we know, football is a year-round thing now. It is. I mean, these guys get like a month and a half off, and then they have to be right back in the facilities for meetings and little camps that they do, and they have to be working out in the weight room and all that stuff. So these players, they get that little bit of time off. They get about 6 weeks, and then they got to get right back to work. Football is a year-round thing now. So it gives these guys that head start, and the Chiefs are starting to put a lot of their starting guys on that season-ending IR. So for the next 2 weeks, I mean, I'm going to see that. I want to see this right now, okay? We usually do this when teams start doing this. We start seeing how much it is to go to a game, okay? We start looking at prices. So let's go look and see how much it is to go to a Kansas City Chiefs game at this point. Okay, so today they're at home against the Broncos. It is their cheapest ticket is in section 339, $41. In section 110, which is field level, $100 to go to a Chiefs game. I think that is the cheapest it's been to go to a Chiefs game in 10 years. It has to be. Has to be the cheapest. Okay? So, it's not bad at all. I mean, to go see them play the Broncos today on Christmas Day, I mean, that's a good Christmas gift, like a last-minute Christmas gift. You're just sitting around the house in Kansas City and like, oh, what do I do today? You know what? Fuck it. Well, let's go to the Chiefs game. It's $40 to get in. Or if you want to sit field level, $100. Do it. Do it. Go. Why not? Why not? $100. Sign you up. Yeah, there you go. Go. I mean, you got like an hour to get there. Kickoff is at 1. Or no, it's at 8 o'clock tonight. Never mind. Sorry, they're on the nightcap. You'd have time. Book a flight. There you go. So, you're not going to see any of the starters, though. You'll see Denver's because they're trying to, their playoff situation today. So, Lamar Jackson, quarterback of the Ravens, he is undetermined whether he will play Saturday night against the Packers or not. He is dealing with a nagging back injury. As we know, the Ravens are in a playoff/division race with the Steelers right now. If the Steelers win this weekend, they're in. But if they end up, tying, they need a Ravens loss. Okay? So let's just put it this way. If the Steelers win, they're in, and they win their division. But if they lose, then they need the Ravens to lose because the Ravens are 2 games back with 2 games left. Right? The Ravens need to win out, and the Steelers need to lose out in order for the Ravens to get in. The Ravens, they're sitting, they're pretty much just like the Lions, 1 foot out the door in the postseason. And Lamar Jackson, this is not good for this point of the year. Not good at all. If I was a Ravens fan right now, I'd just be packing my stuff up and saying season's over. Because Pittsburgh right now, coming off that Detroit win last week, they're fired up. And I have no doubt they go into Cleveland this week and take care of the business they need to. No doubt whatsoever. DK Metcalf. As we know, DK Metcalf, speaking of Steelers, DK Metcalf, he got into a little scruffle with a fan out in Detroit this past week. He was suspended for the final 2 games of the 2025 regular season, but on top of that, he's facing a fine. So the fine indicates that he will be having to chip it. He has to pay $555,556 of a fine. $500,000 of a fine that he has to pay. And now on top of that, there's now talks about that fan suing DK Metcalf. So there's a lot going on with this. And I'll say this right now. If I was DK, I mean, it's not right for a player to go and interact with a fan during a game, number one. Don't go interact with fans. Stay on your sideline. Be there for your teammates. Just because a fan is yelling upset, they're fans. And some fans can be real asses, okay? They're going to yell stuff. Go to Philly. You know what? Go to Philly. Go to the link. That's it. That's all I got to say. Go to the link. You want to hear obscenities? Go to the link. Bottom line. Stay away from fans. Stay away from fans and you won't have this problem. Because now you're facing a 2-game suspension. You're facing $500,000 fine. And there's a possibility that you might get sued. Now, apparently the Lions organization is in close contact with the fan, and the NFL is in close contact with Detroit organization, and they're trying to keep this out of the courtroom. But this fan knows the situation it's in. Okay? You're in a situation with an NFL player. This doesn't look good for you. It doesn't look good for the organization you play for, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it doesn't look good for you moving forward because other teams see this and they think, okay, he's going to be a nuisance moving forward for us if we bring him in. And you'll be lucky if you have 1 or 2 teams that take a chance on you after you leave Pittsburgh. So much goes into this. So players need to think, stay away from fans. Unless they are your home fans and you know you're going to have a good interaction with them, stay the hell away from them. Stay away. Now, I get it. Earlier this year, Davante Adams, he got away with pushing a fan away from Matthew Stafford, but that was a different situation. And that was cleared up very, very fast. And the fan even said, you know what? I was in the wrong. I shouldn't have done that. It was right for Davante to push me away. But this fan knew what they were doing in Detroit. They knew what they were doing. There's no doubt that this fan did not know what they were doing. They got under the skin of DK, and DK reacted. They knew what they were freaking doing. And now DK is facing the consequences, which he very much should because of the way he reacted. But now it may go further than it needed to go. Stay away from the fans if you know you're not going to have a good interaction with them. Or if you're unsure of the interaction you're going to have, stay the hell away. Or at least ask the fan, like, hey, what are you looking for? What do you need? Let's go back to COVID rules, 6 feet apart, and say, hey, what's up? What do you need? Oh, come here, I just want to talk to you. Nope, see ya. Now, if it's a fan saying, hey, do you think you can sign this for me? It's, for my kid or for my collection or whatever, then go over and say, okay, but still stay away for a little bit of a distance, sign, hand, go. There's plenty of opportunities for fans to get pictures with you. They're called meet and greet tickets, which NFL players do. They want a picture with you, they got to do that. But autographs, there you go. 3 feet apart, sign, walk away. See ya. You're welcome. If you know or are unsure of an interaction with a fan, stay away. Stay away. That's it. That's it. I don't think it's an Antonio Brown situation. I really don't. Antonio Brown was a different breed. Antonio Brown had a lot of things going on, and it was such a different situation. I mean, is it a similar situation in some sources, in some ways? It may be, but Antonio Brown was different. I wouldn't fully deem this as an Antonio Brown situation. I wouldn't. Some similarities maybe, but let's move on. Josh Allen, quarterback of the Bills, despite of dealing with the foot injury he's dealing with, will play on Sunday against Philadelphia. As we know, Buffalo is in the race for the AFC East with the New England Patriots. They clinched the playoffs last week already, so they are now fighting for their division. So Josh Allen, still dealing with a foot injury, is going to play against Philadelphia on Sunday. George Kittle, tight end of the 49ers, he is going to be questionable on Sunday. He is dealing with a low ankle sprain. Now, he said that if he was dealing with a high ankle sprain, then there was more of a chance he was not going to play this weekend. But because it is a low ankle sprain, because of the importance of the game that they're going to be in against the Bears on Sunday Night Football, he said he will be available and ready to go. So George Kittle will play even on a low ankle sprain. Justin Fields, quarterback of the Jets, he was placed on season-ending IR, so he is not going to be seen anymore this year. As it was announced the other day, Brady Cook is going to be the starter for the Jets for the remaining of the season. So, rough year for Justin Fields with a lot of high expectations for that kid. It was a rough go for him. A lot of high expectations for Justin Fields out in New York. Thought he was going to go in and turn that team around. And just couldn't do it. Couldn't get the job done. And in the process, some players got traded away and went to other teams. Quinn Williams, Sauce Gardner. And Quinn Williams goes to Dallas, no different, out of the playoffs. And Sauce Gardner goes to the Colts. And since he gets traded to the Colts went, I think, 1-4 or 1-5 since going to the Colts. That's tough. That's tough. You start thinking, maybe I should have stayed in New York. That's not a good idea. No. Go somewhere where things are going to progress. Brett Ripien. Speaking of the Vikings, JJ McCarthy, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. And we know Carson Wentz, he's done for the season. The Vikings need a quarterback. Well, they went out and signed Brett Ripien off of waivers. So look for Brett Ripien to be the starter for Minnesota today. Yeah. Jared Goff against Brett Ripien. That is the matchup today for the Vikings and Lions. Take that as you will. Ben Brown, center of the Patriots, he got a 2-year, $6.6 million extension. So he's going to be with the Patriots through at least 2028, signing his extension. TJ Watt, edge rusher of the Steelers. He practiced for the first time yesterday since dealing with his lung collapse. And there's a possibility that we may see TJ Watt in the game plan for Pittsburgh against Cleveland this weekend. So TJ Watt may have come back at the right time. Because Pittsburgh, I mean, dealing with the DK stuff and everything, I mean, the distraction, TJ Watt coming back now may have been the right timing. May have been. And last bit of news, Marcus Freeman, head coach of Notre Dame. As we know, he was on the Giants list of head coaching potential candidates for becoming the new head coach for. He is now on the Tennessee Titans radar. So now Marcus Freeman, head coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, is on the Giants and the Tennessee Titans radar. Marcus Freeman, he went and won this amount of games for Notre Dame in 2 years, almost got him to the playoffs 2 years in a row, one national championship appearance. That's success. But now it's all about what he's going to do for Tennessee or New York. And who's going to win the bid? What job does he take? You know what I mean? Think of that for a second. Do you go to the Giants and coach Jackson Dart? Or do you go to the Titans and coach Cam Ward? Either way, both teams need a lot of work. So it's not like he's walking into a great situation, whether it's Tennessee or New York. I'm right on that, or am I wrong? I think New York is the better situation. I think it is. But, and I believe the Titans play the Giants this week. I believe so. The Giants play the Raiders. Sorry. Giants play the Raiders. I'm wrong on that. Giants play the Raiders. But New York's the better situation to go to, if I'm not wrong on that. So we'll have to see what Marcus Freeman decides to do. But that's it for the news. That's all we got coming out of the last 2 days. We'll have more news for you guys on the Saturday edition of the Huddle Up Podcast. Whatever comes out, we'll have it for you. So let's get into the playoff scenarios that could that are going to be in effect for today. Okay. As we know, the Broncos have already clinched the playoffs at 12-3. The Chargers at 11-4. The Patriots at 12-3. The Bills at 11-4, and the Jaguars at 11-4. Those are all the AFC playoff teams. Okay. So the Broncos have already clinched. Now, they are the only team today that have a playoff scenario, okay? I'm not going to run down all of the playoff scenarios for the weekend today. I'm just going to run down playoff scenarios that are involved for today, okay? So we know the Cowboys and Commanders, no one's in. The Lions, they need to win out, and they need the Packers to lose out. That's the Lions situation. That's their situation. But the Lions lose today, that's it. They're done. It's all about the Broncos against the Chiefs. Now, the Broncos taking on the Chiefs today, they can clinch home field advantage this week and their division. And this is how they could do it. First off, for home field advantage and division at the same time. They need to win. The Broncos need to win. They need a Chargers loss or tie, a Patriots loss, a Bills loss or tie, and a Jaguars loss or tie. That's how they clinch home field advantage. For them just to clinch their division, they need to win, and they need a Chargers loss or tie. Or if the Broncos tie with the Chiefs today, they need a Chargers loss. So that's how the Broncos clinch their division this week, is a win and a Chargers loss or tie, or if they tie, a Chargers loss. That's it. All the Broncos need to do is win today. If the Broncos win today, they are AFC West champions. They are. Because they lead the Chargers by 1 game. So, if they win, they need a Chargers loss or tie. Never mind. So they don't just win the AFC West today. They need to wait for the Chargers game against the Texans this weekend. So sorry. If they win today, they're 1 foot into winning the AFC West. They need the Chargers to lose or tie against the Texans in order to clinch the AFC West. So winning today would help them 1 step closer to winning the West. I should say that. And 1 step closer to home field advantage. But they still need a lot to happen for home field advantage. They need the Chargers loss or tie, Bills loss or tie, Jaguars loss or tie, and a Patriots loss this week to clinch the home field advantage. Those are the only playoff scenarios for today. That's it. Now, we'll run down the rest of these scenarios on the Saturday edition. I'll be live here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday to run down the rest of the schedule for Week 17 and run down all of the rest of the playoff scenarios that we're facing. But the Lions have no scenario today. They got to win out. Packers lose out. And then the Broncos, they need to win, and they need a Chargers loss or tie. Or if they tie, they need a Chargers loss to clinch the division. And for home field advantage, they need to win. And they need the Chargers, Bills, and Jaguars to lose or tie, and the Patriots to lose for home field advantage this week. Those are the only playoff scenarios for today. That's all. So, that's that. Playoff scenarios for today. So, this is going to be a short live, but we're going to take about 30 to 45 seconds here on the Huddle Podcast. We'll be right back after this. All right, so make sure you're heading over to all the Huddle Hub podcast social medias after the show on X and TikTok. Make sure you're hitting that follow button. Over on the YouTube, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. That's how you follow on the YouTube. And on the Twitch channel, make sure you're hitting that follow button, turning your notifications on for every time we go live. We also make all of our show announcements over on the X. So, for example, if you go over to the X today, you'll see the post that I put up yesterday or 2 days ago about the holiday schedule. Because I did post a holiday schedule. Like today and Saturday, we'll be live, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, obviously, the Tuesday show was at 7 p.m. I posted that on Tuesday, sorry. But, yeah, you'll see the post for the holiday schedule. And then I'll post next week's schedule, which we're going to be back to normal next week. We'll be live on Sunday. Or actually, no, we'll probably be live Saturday because there are Saturday. Oh, no, there's no Saturday games next week. Sorry. There is none. So we'll be live next Sunday at our normal time. But anyways, we make all the show announcements on the X. And on TikTok and YouTube, we post all the videos. I did just post a new video this morning on the TikTok and YouTube. You can go check it out right now. It is my Week 17 picks. Help us build the Huddle Hub podcast through the 2025 season and beyond by going and following us on social media all over the place. So, yeah, I did post new videos today on TikTok and on YouTube. It is my Week 17 picks. So if you want to go see who I picked in Week 17, you can go do that. You know, check that out right now. As far as the pick challenge between me and John, it is updated. I am 155 and 85 this season. And John has 156 wins and 84 losses. So we are only a one-game split right now in the pick challenge. That's crazy. And the thing is we, we fluctuate our picks. Like this week, it's John picking first. So he'll send me his picks, and then I'll give him my picks. And then next week, I give him my picks first, and then he'll give me his picks. So there's always an advantage. Like if he'll send me his picks and I'll sit there and say, okay, maybe I should pick this team against him because I think they may win, so like that. We always give each other like that leverage by somebody picking first. We're only a one-game split this year. One-game split. Last year was like 41 games. I was outlandish with my picks last year. Outlandish. I took chances last year, like took the Panthers in a lot of games, took the Browns, took the Raiders. I was outlandish. This year I got smart. Now, as far as the college football, we are picking each playoff game individually, just like the NFL. So John has a 3-game lead on me right now in the college football pick challenge. I think John's going to win that because as we get closer towards the end of the college football playoffs, we're going to end up picking the same teams. We are. It's going to happen. So John pretty much prematurely has already won the college football thing, unless some miracle happens to where I end up catching up. But it's realistically not going to happen. John's going to take the college football pick this year. It is the first year that we did the college football pick challenge, and it was very successful to the point where next year I believe we're going to do it already. We've already decided that next year we're going to do it. But we're going to amp it up a little bit probably. So this year was pretty much a beta test of how we were going to do the college football picking, and it worked out phenomenally. Phenomenal. Went without a hitch. It did. It went without a hitch. It was super fun to do. So, yeah. So we're a one-game split, and I will have his picks on Saturday before the Saturday show to give our differences for this week. And we have no differences today. We picked all the same teams today. So, yeah. So there it is. So let's get into the games for today. Now, I apologize if I do one or two takes. As you know, when I run shows alone, I still try and make things good for the social media. I do plan on posting at least one video today from today's show. I do plan on it. So if I get good takes from all of them, great. I can cut videos for all the games and post videos for everything, So that's the thing. That's the thing. And I planned on running 60 minutes today. And we're only 40 minutes in. 40 minutes. That's it. Quick little show today. Saturday will probably be, depending on all the news. The news is going to be the kicker for Saturday's show, because we may be able to start Saturday's show with just playoff scenario stuff. I don't see a lot of news coming out the next 2 days. I don't. I'll be surprised. Normally, Christmas Day and the day after Christmas, not a lot of news. So I feel like going into Saturday's show will probably be playoff scenarios, run down the schedule, be in and out in an hour, maybe less like today. I'm stalling to go through these games right now. I am, because I wanted to go 60 minutes today. To go 40 minutes and be off air an hour and a half before kickoff, it gives me time to edit videos, but then what if I just want to take one clip from today? Like, it's like, damn, like it's going to take me a minute to clip it. Shit. I was thinking about doing my Road to Glory live today, too. I did one yesterday. It went bad. Went terrible, but oh. Let's get into the Christmas Day games, though. Okay? Let's do it. Let's get into it. And that's that. So I should probably get my schedule because this thing keeps going by. But all right. All right. All right, we got the Christmas Day games coming up, starting off with the Dallas Cowboys heading out to Washington to take on the Commanders. Both teams are out of the playoff race. Both teams are out of the race for the NFC East. As we know, the Eagles won that division already. What are these two teams playing for? Basically, draft position. That's it. So, Commanders, Cowboys, both done in the playoffs. Both done for the NFC East. They're playing for draft position. That's it. 1 o'clock kickoff on Netflix in the first game on Christmas Day. So, yeah. Not a good take. Not a good take. Not good. Terrible. Terrible. Not posting it. I'm not doing it again. No, because these teams have nothing to play for. Draft position. And none of these teams, the Commanders are like, I think, 7th. I think they're like 7th right now in draft positioning for the top 10 draft. For the top 10 in the draft. I'll have to look. I do have the top 10 already. I was able to gain access to the top 10 draft picks for the 2025 draft already. So the Giants are 1, Raiders are 2, Cleveland's 3, Jets are 4, Titans are 5, Cardinals are 6, Washington 7. So yeah, I was right, 7. See? Should I finish the list off? I should finish the list off. 8's the Saints, 9 is the Bengals, and 10 is the Dolphins. That's your top 10 right now for the draft. All right. For the 4 o'clock game today, we got the Detroit Lions heading out to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Lions right now, they are living on... Oh, I don't want to do that one. No. In the 4 o'clock game today, we got the Lions heading out to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Lions right now are fighting for their playoff lives. I guess you could basically say they're out of it. Why? Because they need to win out, and they need the Packers to lose out. The Vikings, on the other hand, they are on their third-string quarterback, bringing in somebody off of waivers. The Lions should be able to take care of business today, but it's all about hoping the Packers go out and lose, which we don't see happen. I'm going to do that one more time. I didn't like that. One more time, and that's it. If I don't like it, we're not doing it. Okay. In the 4 o'clock game today, we got the Lions heading out to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Lions are hanging on by a thread in their playoff hopes for their play. Oh, my God. I hate this. I hate this. In the 4 o'clock game on the Christmas Day set of games, we got the Detroit Lions heading out to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Vikings bring in a quarterback off of waivers to start for them today because J.J. McCarthy's out. Carson Wentz was done for the season. The Lions are hanging on by a thread for their playoff lives. They need to win out. The Packers need to lose out in order for them to get in. Do you really think that's going to happen? I don't, but let's see if it does for the Lions and maybe just maybe some Christmas magic will happen for them and they could sneak in. Who knows? Let's find out. I'll take that. Should I do that one? Tommy, are you still here? Was that one good? Should I go with that one? Some Christmas magic. We'll do it one more time. We got the Detroit. God damn it. We'll do it one more time. In the 4 o'clock game on Christmas Day, we got the Detroit Lions heading out to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Vikings are going to rely on a quarterback coming off waivers. Meanwhile, the Lions are hanging on to their playoff lives. They need to win out. They need the Packers to lose out. Let's see if it happens for the Lions. Do you think it will? Because I don't. That last one's good. See, and then when you go to social media and you see that I clipped this, it's like, okay, yeah, this is why it takes him so long to fucking do this on his own. You know. Okay. In the night game of the Christmas Day games, we got the Denver Broncos heading out to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs, they're out of the playoffs for the first time in 10 seasons. Meanwhile, the Broncos, they're fighting to win their division, which they're probably going to do, but they're also fighting for home field advantage. Oh, damn it. In the night game on Christmas Day, we got the Denver Broncos heading out to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are out of the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. The Denver Broncos, they're playing for their division, and they're also playing for home field advantage. If the Broncos win today and the Chargers lose tomorrow, then the Broncos win their division, and they're in the race for home field advantage because they'll need a lot more things to happen for home field advantage, but that's step number one. Could the Broncos win today? And could the Chargers lose this weekend? We'll have to find. I don't like that. Last take. I'm going to do a short and sweet one like I did with the Lions. In the night game on Christmas Day, we got the Denver Broncos heading out to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are out of the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. Meanwhile, the Broncos are playing for the division. If the Broncos win and the Chargers lose this weekend, the Broncos win the division. And the Broncos are also playing for home field advantage. Let's see if the Broncos can do it against the Chiefs and move on to the playoffs and play at home this year. One more. I don't like that one. Short and sweet. We'll just do the division. I'm not going to add in home field advantage. I'm not. In the night game on Christmas Day, we got the Denver Broncos heading out to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are out of the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. Meanwhile, the Broncos are playing for the division. If they beat the Chiefs and the Chargers lose to the Texans this week, the Broncos win the West. Could everything go Denver's way? We'll have to find out starting tonight on Christmas night. I like that one. We'll go with that one. All right. So that's it for the Christmas Day games, guys. That's all. And that's it for this stream. We are done here. Make sure you're heading over to the Huddle Up Podcast and hitting the follow button on the X and the TikTok, and you're hitting the subscribe button on the YouTube, hitting the follow button on the Twitch channel. I will be back here on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, running down the rest of Week 17 schedule. I will also have all the playoff scenarios for all the teams that could clinch a playoff spot or clinch their divisions, or both, basically. Because if you clinch your division, you're in the playoffs. That's bottom line. But I will be back here on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to get you guys ready for the games on Saturday and the rest of the schedule for Week 17. And then me and John will be back on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to run down everything that happened in Week 17, give our recap, and get you guys ready for round 2, the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs, and give you our predictions. So come join us on Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can follow me on social media at MetalMike714, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. So, yeah, that's that. And video game content, just let you guys know, I may be live later today on TikTok doing some Fortnite streaming. I don't know. I haven't decided yet because my Netflix is out right now. So can I watch any of the games on Netflix today? No, I can't. I can't. I just got to wait for the nightcap tonight. That's it. So I may be live doing that. I may even be live here a little later doing my Road to Glory. Who knows? I didn't edit my video from yesterday's stream yet, but I figured if I do a live today, then I can work on 2 videos this weekend and get those out. So who knows? But be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Take care of each other. Be patient with each other. Remember, the world is not moving as fast as you think. If you're going out today for Christmas, spending time with your family, your friends, doing anything in the holidays, doing holiday stuff today, be safe doing it. Okay? Be safe doing it. Be mindful. And just have a great day, guys. Okay? Until then, see you guys Saturday morning. Deuces.